Be me average social awkward guy from K always single, too shy awkward to meet new people. Actually strike up a conversation with an attractive woman. She's liberal but keep going because she's pretty. We go out for drinks. Things are actually going well. She knows I have guns, we have mutual friends. She's pretty anti-gun, but it's a gun community. She asks how many guns I have. I have a few for hunting. It's a true statement, but if I had continued she would hear, and like 20 more, I especially love paramilitary death machines that look like massive status symbols of Hitler. We drink a lot, she's pretty much an alcoholic. We decide to go to my place. I open my front door. Othahorror.gif. I had forgotten I was cleaning and doing yearly maintenance on all my guns. The floor has a dozen rifles all in an orderly line that would make an OCD general proud. Fall, VZ 2008, SKS, Arasaka, with 5 other milsurps along with almost a dozen handguns are the most notable. Gun racks are filled on the walls. The smell of milsurp lingers in the air. Camo uniforms are stacked and folded on the furniture. Her face is pure horror as she realizes everything she hates in Asian form. She does a 360 and recoils compulsively, staggering back to the car. He just mutters about taking her back home. We drive in silence. MFW, my guns saved me from a bad relationship. Thanks guns. Be me. Tate girl and a lot of carry firearms to range to give her a chance to test out what she likes to shoot most. She knows guns, been shooting skeet and hunting since she was 10. Everything going great, both of us having a great time. She's torn between steel J-frame, 640 perf center, and 3 model 66. Loves Magnum rounds. Range officer comes and starts chortling about how much of a fudder dad is. Me apparently, I mean I'm 50, and she's 32 but petite, and offers her his Springfield grip zone. She's already tried a Glock 19, 43X and a SNWM&P compact. She says that she doesn't trust Tupperware, and he huffs and walks off. She laughs way too loud at this, and he's humiliated and pissed off. Suddenly we're shooting too fast, he's checking our ammo with magnets, handgun ammo. We hear him trying to tell his supervisor about how we're a problem and should be kicked. Supervisor is based Roof Korean and says we're doing nothing wrong. Angry, he starts harassing everyone on the range about every little thing. Evidently pisses off another shooter. He takes out a 460 mag pistol, moves right next to the ranger officer's roost, and starts just blasting it every 3 seconds. Range fag officer leaves, and someone else comes. We leave happy. Guy with the 460 was based. We hung about an hour outside just joking around and chatting. Make a new friend. Who has a ton of land upstate. Says we can use it anytime if we give him a call. Don't need to use the range again except maybe winter. Not a range horror story. If you're reading Ned, thanks. I had a similar story. Be me, 10. BB gun for Christmas. At Grandma's house. House has squirrels living in the attic. Grandma does everything she can to get rid of them. Curses their existence. Hear a slapping of thin metal. The squirrel trap has been activated. Go into attic, retrieve trap. In the backyard now, any last words? Varmint, squirrel has no last words. Shoot it with BB, it's not very effective. Shoot it directly in head with BB, same result. Shoot it in eye with BB, still alive. By this point I'm having an internal crisis of morality and the value of life. Desperately try to shoot squirrel in vital areas to put it out of the misery I caused, nothing works. It's a shitty Daisy Red Ryder BB gun. Eventually the squirrel succumbs to unknown number of BBS. I am disgusted with myself, buried squirrel, and asked squirrel and God for forgiveness in confession later that year. Didn't pick up that BB gun for a year. Never shot at another animal until my dad taught me proper hunting and gun use when I was 13. I still hunt and say an audible thank you to whatever I harvest, but I'm still haunted by how I treated that poor animal. Here's a fun blog to read. Be me, 30 years old. Want to join Ox. Have 3.5 PA. Worked on and off, went back to school on and off to finish college. First few years of part-time college were rough, fucked around, was young and stupid, lots of W's and F's. Got my shit together as I finally grew up. Retook W and F classes, pushed my GPA to 3.5. During the final year, looking at Ox. Begin training physically. Get in the best shape of my life, I'm a fucking beast. Let's do this. JPG. I'd like to apply to Vox. What's your GPA? 3.5. Nice. They look at my transcript. They see the early W's and F's that I fixed. Sorry Anon, this won't fly. Ah. Feels like a kick to the nuts. I'm glad my mistakes from 8 years ago have finally caught up to me. Not everyone has a perfect start to young adult life. I feel like they should look at the final numbers instead of nitpicking pointless shit. But I'm just bitching. Feel a bit lost now. I talked to people and they had convinced me that I really had a shot. Thanks for listening to my blog. Be me. At LGS buying a muzzle brake for my Bubbed .22 LR. One left that will fit, so I grab it. In line behind a boomer and some weird Asian dude with these bizarre camo pants and a white t-shirt. The pants were like a copy of Woodland, but the primary color was red, secondary was orange, and there were occasional green streaks in there. Chang the Chinese chicken asks the clerk if they have 8mm CHISEC whatever that is. He says they don't. The secret Asian man refuses to elaborate further. Leaves. Up next is the boomer who is buying a dirt cheap $30 scope from one of the bargain bins. He actually asks if he can get a warranty on it. The clerk says lem check out back and disappears for a couple minutes. He returns and says something along the lines of sorry, we're all out. Boomer buys the scope anyway and leaves. I'm up. MFW the clerk tells me he can't sell me the muzzle brake because the last model means it's a display model. Leave empty-handed. Fucking guns top. Incredible, I have an almost identical story. Be me. 14. At family cabin in eastern Oregon. Popping cans with my sweet Crowsman. See a fat ground squirrel sitting on a rock. Pop it in the belly. It starts thrashing around. Frantically pump my gun 10 times so I can shoot it again. Shoot again through the neck. Still thrashing. Finish it off with a headshot. Remember that I'm supposed to eat everything I shoot. Grab a kitchen knife. Gut and skin it. Rub down with oil and salt. Grill up the carcass and dry the skin. It was good. Gamey. I still have the skin. I like shooting birds and rodents when I get the chance because it is hassle-free, no tags and regs like larger critters, and the feeling of taking life and eating the flesh is empowering. When I was living in Seattle I shot a crow with my roommate's BB pistol. I did not eat it, which I feel guilty about, but the other crows gathered and flew in a circle around its body. It was cool. Be me. 14. Living on farm in Rocky Mountains. Grandpa gets a cheap .22 rifle and lets me use it. I walk around with it and find a nice little spot to shoot. Get it somewhat zeroed in. Fuck it. JPG. Decide to shoot birds because retard. After a while of shooting random birds, I see a magpie. I shoot it in the head and it drops instantly. Bring it to one of the farm cats we have running around to see if he will eat it. Cat doesn't want it. I leave it on the ground near the field. It's still visible. After about 5 minutes I keep hearing a bird cawing and crying out. I go to see what it is, and it is another magpie that looked like it was crying mourning his friend's death. I instantly tear up and my heart feels crushed. I go and grab the dead bird and make a little grave for it. I am 24 and absolutely love nature now, but I still think about that bird I killed and feel bad for it. I am sorry, bird bros. Be me. Go to usual range with bro. Get set up at a lane next to a Chinese couple. She is wearing white bunny slippers, black Lululemon yoga gear, and has hot pink 2-inch nails. Tic-ticking her guy as he shoots a bunch of rentals. Reloading mags while my friend shoots. Notice she is flinching hard every shot. Her turn. Guy hands her a gun and starts tic-ticking. She is very twitchy handling the gun. Much confusion about how to work the safety on their MPX with her giant pink nails. Finger on the trigger, she flags the balls out of the whole range, turning around to ask the RSO for help. RSO rushes over, points her in the right direction, sorts her out. He tosses me a glance as he heads back to his chair. The look on his face says, "Can you believe this, bat soup enthusiast?" This one sounds completely unbelievable, but I swear on my life it's the truth. I really am that dumb. Be me. 16. Just got my car license in Australia. Picking my older brother up from the rifle range since he does target shooting. I'm Noggins and I've never been to the range complex before. Park car and find the clubhouse on this big wooden board with a map of the facility on it. Decide to cut across this big patch of grasses to where the clubhouse was. Walk past these old-looking targets in a line. See on my left all these cars parked hundreds of meters away. All these people standing up waving at me. Wave back and continue walking. I get to the other side of the big grass field and see this Hilux flying down the dirt road towards me beeping its horn. This pensioner hops out gasping for breath and yells at me with a mixture of panic and astonishment. "Geez Lovey, what in God's name are you doing on the range, are you alright?" I ask what's going on as two other cars arrive. And similarly old men emerge from their vehicles. Yeah, my retarded 16-yo-ass walked across the live 800 meters rifle range while shooting was in progress because I thought it was a shortcut to where my brother's clubhouse was. Purely because I was a teenage girl they weren't that mad at me, but it didn't stop me from crying my eyes out for hours and my brother having to drive home instead of me and explain to mum and dad why I was lifetime banned from a range I had never been to before. Lmao. Still noggins, but I play Gel Blaster, which is fun.